Karin Carr here, and on this channel I teach real estate professionals how to use YouTube as a lead gen strategy, because you absolutely can get paying clients from your YouTube videos. And let's face it, cold calling sucks, and friends don't let friends cold call, and we're all friends here, right? Welcome everybody. Welcome. Hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving. You're going to laugh that I'm wearing a scarf because it's 65 degrees here today, but to me, this is chilly. So I'm wearing my fall clothes. My market has a cost of living that is 2 to 3 times higher than the places that people relocate from. The upfront cost deters them from buying and they choose to rent instead. So I guess my question to you would be, maybe we need a different niche, because if that's truly the case, that people are relocating to your area from a place that costs, median price is $250, and now they move here and the median price is $750 and they can't afford it, so they rent, then your niche is only going to attract people who are incapable of buying right now. And we want to find people that are ready, willing, and able. So what if we tried tweaking the niche? What if we went after either sellers or move up buyers, people that have outgrown their existing condo, townhouse, and they're ready to move up to a bigger house? And that just requires you doing some real research on what are people Googling, what do they have, what are their questions, what do they want to know, and maybe coming up with some other topics besides moving to Toronto. I can't remember where exactly it is that you live. I know that you told me this like the first time we started talking after the challenge, but if instead of moving to and cost of living in and all those sorts of things, if those are attracting people that are not able to buy because you live in such a high cost area, then maybe it's just a matter of tweaking the niche and trying something different instead. Those of you that are also in very high cost areas, do any of you have ideas for video topics? I mean, feel free to unmute yourself and chime in. I live in an area where my median price is a whopping $350, and that went up $100,000 since the start of COVID. So we do not live in a super high cost area. And when I did live in Northern California, that was extremely high cost. Everybody that lived in California was in the same boat. So it was like they just knew that you got to suck it up and pay this crazy amount for a house. And we did have a lot of renters, but we also had a lot of buyers.
So I was jotting down some ideas at the beginning of the month of something we live in. I'm in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, Sarasota area. And I had a listing that was very affordable for the area. And so the regular affordable, I did the video with the pictures and all that. No, not mine. And it had more clicks on it than anything else that I had done. So I was thinking to do, how can you get into an affordable home in this area? So affordable living in Lakewood Ranch.
I love that.
It worked, given the basic photos.
So maybe you could do some videos where you're talking about fixer-uppers. Is it worth buying a fixer-upper just so that you can get into the market and know that it's not going to be your dream home, your forever home? You're going to have to fix it all up. But then when you're ready to move up, you're going to hopefully make a nice big fat profit and then use that profit to buy the next home, which would be in better condition. You could do videos about house hacking. I don't know a lot on this topic, but I've read it. It sounds really interesting. It's where you buy a property and you rent out all of the rooms essentially, so that all of this money that you're getting from your roommates essentially is paying the mortgage and then some. And that's how people will get into their very first property. If it's super expensive and they just can't afford it, like they buy it almost as though it will be a rental property instead. And they collect all of that money. And then after a year or two of doing that, they can go buy a house that they're going to live in all by themselves. I mean, there've got to be subjects that you could talk about how to buy your first home in an area where it's very expensive.
My question is, and I need to go through all the training. So if this is, I'm sure this is all in the training, but if your niche is your niche the same as the name of your channel? Because I'm a little bit stuck on that. I'm trying to narrow my niche to people around my age, like baby boomer age, downsize, right size, whatever, moving closer to grandkids. And I'm not sure if I need to name my channel something like that.
You don't have to name your channel something like that. When it comes to naming your channel, I think that something catchy, something easy to remember and easy to spell beats the name of the niche any day. So if yours is people that are moving to be closer to grandkids, what it could, oh goodness.
I want listings. I don't want to go after buyers relocating to Vegas or anything. I want people that are already in Vegas that want to downsize or upsize or downsize probably, I suppose, or right size.
Okay. What about like Vegas right sizing or Vegas downsizing or I'm just trying to think what else it would be. I like the idea of right sizing. You want to be careful about fair housing. I don't think that you should call out anything like grandparents because it's a protected class if we're talking about gender and family status. And I don't think you should put anything like that in the title of your channel and then open yourself up to an ethics violation. But could we talk about this whole concept of right sizing or downsizing when you just don't need the big fancy house anymore because it's just one or two of you? So I'd play around with something like that.
How do you feel about YouTube ads just to try to get more traction just coming to the page?
I have never run any ads for my YouTube channel, so I can't speak from personal experience. But when I was running a lot of Facebook ads before I started my YouTube channel, I will tell you that an organic lead is a million times better than a paid lead any day of the week. So yes. I would rather see you spend your time and effort to grow the organic strategy because I think that the payoff will be better. Like the point is to not get 50 leads that you have to chase and call 75 times before they'll talk to you. Like I have no interest in that. I just want the person that calls me and says, hey, I've already picked you. Will you please help me? I'm ready to sign on the dotted line. And that might only be one person instead of 50, but then I don't waste my time doing all this other crap that I really don't want to do. That's not so effective.
Hi, so I'm doing thumbnails and
okay.
I was trying to convince my wife to just take a bunch of pictures of me. That's like pulling teeth, right? So I ended up doing one of these and I talked to Lindsay and she recommended a remote. So I'm up there yesterday going,
yeah,
this kind of thing.
Okay.
I got like 67 pictures.
Yeah.
And I'd like to clean them up a little bit so that I don't look like I have red spots all over my face and things like that. And it's hard to do on a phone. So I thought I'll upload them on the PC. Is there some kind of editing software other than Photoshop, which I don't have a PhD in Photoshop.
You can use Canva, you can use PicMonkey, or you could go to Fiverr.com and pay somebody $5 or $10 to do it all for you. And that's honestly my preference because I'm not really that good with all that kind of thing either. Or I send it to my nephew who's really good with it. I send him a couple pictures. I'm like, Cody, fix these and make them look better. And he gets on his phone and 5 minutes later, they look amazing. I'm like, how do you do that? And so, yeah, it's like, what is your time worth? Are you going to spend hours trying to fix these and make them look okay? Or could you just go to Fiverr.com and say, touch up these photos and make them look a little bit better for me?
Touch up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thanks to you, I will tell you that at least 90% of my business this year has come from the YouTube channel.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
At least. And not only that, it's by far my best year in decades.
Aw, that makes me so happy because I remember after you first started, you made this awesome little testimonial video and you're like, I haven't gotten a lead yet, but I know that I will. So this makes me so happy to hear. Good job.
It's been great. Well, I tell you, and I've had a lot of, and I'm a sole agent and I haven't figured out how to do a team yet.
Okay.
But what I have been doing, I'm part of a company that's a really large private company, but we have offices all over Middle Tennessee. So if I get somebody who wants to be in an area that I'm just not going to work, I have been able to refer them. So I have partners that within the same company and we do a 50-50 referral fee. My question is, how would you, so how do you do it with your teammates? I mean, I've always, I'm struggling to the place of, do I find somebody as a team, or do I really keep doing this? And what happens, say 4 years down the line, when someone who I gave as a referral and we split a 50-50, that person decides they want to sell. They may reach out to me because I want to keep them in my database. What's your suggestion?
So with my team, like these leads are coming to the team because of me. They came from the channel that I started. They're coming from the website that I host. So we have an agreed upon split. When the lead comes in, that person who gets the lead is the first point of contact. So if somebody calls me, I let it go to voicemail, and then I pull up the transcription of the message and I forward it to the agent, and they are the very first point of contact, so that the person doesn't feel like, oh, Karin was too busy to work with me and like pass me off to one of her minions. You know, if they're the first person to talk to them, then it seems to be just fine and doesn't end up being a problem. And on our team agreement, it basically just says that if you leave the team, that's cool, but you don't get to take the clients with you that were generated because of team efforts. And I can share with you my team agreement, but it's very specific in that any leads that were generated while you were part of the team belong to the team.